It's a girl. It's a little baby girl. We're a little baby girl. There's a little baby girl. And I know she love her mama. And she's so fucking cute, oh yeah. Oh my god. Introducing the newest member to our family. Her name is Tina Marie. Actually, her name's Tina Louise Marie. Here's a little baby Tina. Little baby Tina. Right now is her nap time. That's why she's like soups calm and, you know, like ragdollish, because it's her nap time. Sometimes she turns into Tina the Terror, which you may or may not have noticed in my Lion King-esque intro. I have had tried to film this already and she was not having it. So I smartened up today, waited till nap time, and brought a chew toy. So we good, girl. So I obviously have not filmed a video in quite some time. It's been like a week, maybe 2 weeks. I've been a little preoccupied with this right here. So let me just start from the beginning. Let's get into this story time. How I got my dog. So if you follow my vlogs, I think I've like mentioned here and there just in passing in my vlogs that Tim and I have been discussing getting another dog. And reason being is because Stubby's fucking getting up there, girl. Stubby's gonna be fucking 13 in May. 13, and we've had him since he was 4 months old. 13 years old, girl. And with Hoyt being 5 years old and still like active and playful, he just doesn't have the agility anymore to like keep up with Hoyt. And I feel like maybe there are some times when Hoyt forces him to play, and he maybe don't want to play, but he does it just to keep Hoyt happy, you know what I'm saying? So we have been discussing getting another dog, like a younger dog. We looked into adopting a younger bulldog. If you guys are unaware, Hoyt is an Old English Bulldog. If you don't know what that is, Old English Bulldogs are just like standard English Bulldogs, which is what she is. But a Old English Bulldog, they're a little bit leaner. They don't have as many wrinkles in their face. They have the underbite, they have the chops, all that stuff. Their heads are a little bit narrower than what like an Old English Bulldog or a standard English Bulldog's is. But we really liked his temperament, his like characteristics, his activity level, his quirkiness, and that's kind of like a characteristic of English Bulldogs is like their quirky nature. We obviously just like fell in love with Hoyt from the minute we got him. So we looked into adopting a younger English Bulldog, and we filled out a couple of applications and heard nothing back, and got a little bit discouraged. There are no Bulldog specific adoption agencies like it's a human, shelters or whatever in our area. And for a really long time, for like probably a little over a year now, because we really wanted to adopt one, we were looking at various shelters and even, like I said, filled out a couple applications and just heard nothing back. And when it comes to adopting a younger English Bulldog, they're really hard to get a hold of as far as like adopting out of a shelter. And we wanted a younger one because we wanted one to be able to like grow up with our family and kind of like keep up with Hoyt, as you know, because Stubby can't anymore. So after kind of getting discouraged with not hearing anything back from the applications we filled out, we then decided, why don't we just get a puppy? Let's get a puppy that can like grow up with our family, and you know, we can train them however we want and blah, blah, blah. So we landed on getting a puppy. Now, as y'all know, if you've been with me for that amount of time, that Hoyt, we got Hoyt when he was, I want to say 11 months old. We took him off the hands of a friend of mine whose boyfriend at the time was abusing him, and they also just didn't have the time for him. So we took him off of their hands. Stubby, we've had since he was 4 or 5 months old. He was a little bit older, 4 or 5 months old. Hoyt was already kind of half-ass crate trained. Stubby was very much hard to train. I remember because we were younger and we weren't as responsible as we are now, Stubby was a little bit harder to train. I think it took like 1.5 years to train him. And boxers notoriously are a little bit harder to potty train anyways. So we have never had like a fresh ass puppy. You know what I mean? Like a little baby teens. We never had like a young puppy. So we decided we was gonna get a fresh ass puppy. So we researched breeders in our area and came across a breeder that had 2 puppies left in this English Bulldog litter. They were English or AKC registered English Bulldogs, and we decided to go check them out. Now I personally wanted a girl because all the things in my house are boys, girl. They're all boys. My dogs are boys, my kid's a boy, my Beebs is a boy. Like, it's all boys, boys, boys. It's always been boys. Anytime we've ever had a cat, dog, we had a fucking rabbit once, it was a boy. Like, boys, always boys. No female presence in the house other than me right here. And Paul's still kicking BT dubs. So me and Paul is like the only shit. And y'all know Paul is like non-binary and shit. He's a female, but he feels male, but then he like squeezed out an egg sac. So then he's like, well, fuck, I don't know what I am now. I'm just gonna be non-binary. So that's what Paul is. So technically, still the only female presence in the house. When we contacted the breeders, they had a boy left and a girl left. Like I said, we were kind of dead set on a girl. Tim's like, I kind of want a girl too. Like, I think it would be cute to have a little girl. So, because we're like those fucking weird people that like treat our dogs like kids, just saying. So, contacted the breeder and they were like, do you just want to come see the girl or do you want to see the boy too? And Tim's like, you know what, we want to look at both of them because just in case we end up having a bond with like the boy or whatever else. So we drove and drove and drove. We drove 3 hours to go see little Miss Teens. And look at her, she looks like she's like half dead. She's just in nap mode right now. Like, she gets up and she's very young. We got her when she was just 2 days over 8 weeks old. So she was real fucking fresh, girl. Today, when I'm filming this, is Wednesday. I'm gonna try my best to get it up today. And she turns 10 weeks old today. So we've had her for about 1.5 weeks and it has been a daunting 1.5 weeks to say the least. And I'll get into that. So, where was I in my story? Oh yes. So we contacted the breeders and was like, let's just see both of them just in case we happen to have a bond with them. So the breeders, you know, we got pictures from them and stuff and looked at them and oh my God, they were so fucking cute. The pictures were so cute, girl. I was like, oh, I can't wait to go see them. So we sent off last Saturday to go see her and her brother. And when we got there, Beach, I was a little taken back because I was like, oh my God, they so tiny. Like, she tiny, girl. She tiny. Tiny little Tina. Her name's Tina. She's tiny. Little tiny Tina. They were so small and she's grown since we've had her. Like, not substantially. Obviously, we've only had her for 1.5 weeks, but she grown. She was so fucking tiny. And at one point we like actually contemplating getting a smaller dog, like a French bulldog. And I'm so glad that we didn't because like, she's so fucking tiny, girl. It's like, it's weird because I'm just used to being around big dogs. Like, we have big dogs or friends have big dogs. My mom has a bigger dog. Like, I've never been around this little tiny little thing, little thing. And I swear too, like, I don't think I've ever even like held a dog this small. I know I have, but it feels like I haven't. And Aiden was like, I've never held a puppy before. And I'm like, bitch, yes you have. You've held a puppy. And he's like, no, really, I haven't, other than Stubby when I was like 3 years old. And I'm like, you know what, you're right. You have never held a puppy before. So we get there and I'm like freaking the fuck out because I'm like, oh my God, they're so little. Oh, they're so tiny. And he said, the mother is like 40 pounds and the father was 50 pounds. And just to like give a scale, Hoyt is 55 pounds. So you guys know how big Hoyt is. So the mother and the father of her are both smaller than Hoyt. So she's not gonna be very big at all. So anyways, so we get there, I'm like freaking the fuck out because I'm like, oh my God, they're so tiny. We actually, when we saw her brother, we're like, girl, because he was so fucking cute. Oh my God, he was so fucking cute. Like, he was quite a bit bigger than she was actually, because girls are just naturally smaller than boys, like in dog breeds. Her brother, let me see if I can, oh I know, her so tired, oh stretchy, oh stretch. Her brother looked just like her, but on this side of his head, he had all white right here, and she's considered fawn, that's what her color is. Over here, he had just one little patch over his eye, and where her brown is, his was brindle. And if you don't know what brindle is like that tiger stripe kind of looking color on dogs. It's really common in like pit bulls, bulldogs and stuff like that. So like really common in pit bulls, the brindle color is. So we get there and the boy is bigger, he's wrinklier, he's like just the cutest little thing on 4 legs. Oh my God, he was so cute. He was so much more lively. He had a lot bigger of a personality than she did. So we get there and we're like, oh my God, I kind of like the boy. And I knew from the get-go, because Tim really loves brindle color in dogs, I knew from the get-go he was like, I fucking want this boy. So we literally sat there for like half hour, 45 minutes trying to decide between these 2 dogs. And I shit you not, had they been a little bit cheaper, we probably would have been coming home with both of them, because we get in the car and Tim's like, I swear to God, if they were $1,000 cheaper, I would have fucking bought both of them because they were so fucking cute. So, so we're there and Tim kept saying, I know you want a girl. I know you wanted a girl. I was like, I know, but the boy's really cute too. And she was a lot more vocal. So she would like whine and bark and like want picked up. And she was very docile and sweet and like, just like to cuddle and stuff. The boy, he was like real playful and spunky. And as we were playing with them, the guy goes back to get paperwork for the dogs. And as we were playing with him, I noticed that because the boy had so much more skin and because he was so much more wrinkly, like his head was wider, he had way more wrinkles on his face, he had more skin on his body, he had more rolls, because he was a beefy mofo. But because of that, as we were playing, I heard him like breathing really heavily, and as fucking cute and adorable as he was, I just wanted a healthy dog. And I was like, ooh. So when the guy walked back to get our paperwork and stuff, I told Tim, I was like, dude, listen to him breathing. Like, I feel like he's gonna have like health issues, like breathing issues. Because if you don't know, because of their, you know, their snouts are so short and they have so many wrinkles in their face, they tend to have breathing issues anyways. And to hear that already in such a young puppy, I was like, ooh, that really deterred me from liking him as much as I did. So we ended up getting the little girl, getting little baby teens. There's a little baby Tina. Little baby teens, the kind you don't take home to mama. She's so cute. So when we first picked her up, she actually didn't have a name. And I think her name is so perfect. So when, like I said, when we first picked her up, she didn't have a name because we didn't know whether we were gonna choose a boy or the girl. So we're on our way home and we're like trying to think of names. I'm like looking on my phone, looking for like punny dog names, and we're just like throwing shit out there. I personally, before we even got there, was like, I totes want to name her Karen, just so we can be like, lay down Karen, like from Talladega Nights, right? I think it's from Talladega Nights. Tim wanted to name her Sookie because Hoyt, she's like, bitch, right in my ear, come on now. Because Hoyt's name is Hoyt, because Hoyt was actually named after like a bow company or whatever. But when we first got Hoyt, it was, I think True Blood had just ended like less than a year after we got Hoyt. So everybody who we were like, yeah, his name's Hoyt, they were like, ooh, Hoyt Boydenberry from True Blood. And we're like, no, he was named after a bow company. So because of that, Tim was like, we should name her Sookie, like Sookie and Hoyt. And I'm like, Suki and Hoyt wasn't even together on True Blood. We can't name her Suki. So then Aiden like threw something out, which I can't remember. And then Tim started to come around to Karen and he was like, yeah, I guess that does kind of roll off the tongue. Lay down, Karen. So when he said that, I don't know what it is, but it just fucking popped into my head because I was like thinking of names and thinking of animals with like funny names. And I don't know if I've ever told you guys, but Napoleon Dynamite is like one of my favorite movies of all time, my favoriteest ever. And we were sitting in the car and I don't know, it just popped in my head and I said, Tina, you fat lard, come get your food. And Tim and Aiden instantly were like, Tina, that's it, Tina, we're gonna name her Tina. So we were like, that's perfect. So her name's Little Teens. Oh, Little Tina, she's already got a ton of nicknames. Let's see, Tina, oh, and the next day or the day after, Tim was like singing to her something and he said Tina Louise and I was like, oh my God, that's it, Tina Louise. We're gonna name her Tina Louise, that's her middle name. But when you sing Tina Marie just rolls off the tongue so nicely. And what happened was, so after we named her, we had told Tim's mom, hey, what's up? We named her Tina Louise. And she was like, oh my God, you named her after me? And I was like, what do you mean? And Tim's like, my mom's middle name is Louise. And I was like, oh, it is? Why did I not know that? I don't know. But he's like, yes, her middle name's Louise. So then when Tina Marie started rolling off the tongue, we were like, well, we had already told Tim's mom that we named her Tina Louise and she was all excited and think we named her after her. So we decided on Tina Louise Marie. Aiden's got 2 middle names, why not her, right? So Tina Louise Marie. We call her Tina Wiener is a big one. That's what I call her. Little Tina Wiener, Tina Wiener. Tiny Tina. When she gets into her terror mode, we call her Tina Terror. Oh, the big one is Little Love. We call her Little Love. Do you guys watch Castle Rock? So there is this series on Hulu called Castle Rock. It's based after the Stephen King books, I guess. And like the Stephen King books, they're all like, all that shit happened in this town called Castle Rock. And now there's this series on Hulu that's like based on, you know, Stephen King shit. I don't remember what the first one was about, but the second season is, that came out weird. Weird. I've had way too much coffee today, okay? The second season is based after the bitch from Misery, the chick that Kathy Bates played, like when she was younger. And apparently she had a daughter. Her daughter was named Joy, and that's how she talked, Joy. And she always called her Little Love. Little Love, so that's what we call her, Little Love. That's one of her nicknames, Little Love. Tim's secretary calls her Tina, or what's he call it? What's she call her? Tina Tot, because she's so tiny. Tiny Tina, that's another one. What else? Tina Wiener, Teen Shake, Little Teens. Like, she's got a plethora of nicknames. She's never gonna learn her name because we constantly call her other shit. At one point, Tim was like, we need to quit fucking calling her Little Love. She's gonna think that's her name. Isn't that right, Little Love? Oh my God, oh cute. So that's how we came across Little Love. So as I said, picked her up, brought her home, named her. We get her home. We like invited our family over. Like my mom and her boyfriend came over. Tim's mom came over to meet her because we wanted to introduce her to the family. We also wanted to introduce her to the boys. So here's the thing. I know, because I've been watching all these training videos because I want to get her, like, neither of my dogs are like obediently trained. They're good dogs, but the more training videos I watch, the more I realize they ain't that good of dogs. They're not. I mean, they're sweet natured and they're like very loving and, you know, all the things, but they're just, they're not good. They're not good dogs. And I've watched so many training videos at this point that I feel like I'm basically a certified dog trainer because I've watched like 40 YouTube videos on it. And just a pro tip to anybody that's like considering getting a puppy, and if you are considering getting a puppy or you have a puppy and you're wanting to train it, when you go on YouTube to look up videos on how to train your dog, you have to stick with one person because there is such a plethora of information up on the tubes when it comes to dog training. There are so many different trainers and each trainer has their own approach, their own techniques, their own tricks. Like, it's a little insane, girl. It's a little overwhelming. And because I never had a puppy this fresh before, it was, I was taken back a little bit. So I've been watching all these training videos, and I know that it says in the majority of the videos that I've watched that when you introduce your puppy to your current dogs, that it is supposed to be in a neutral location, not at home, which we fucked up, and B, over an extended period of time, not in like one session, which we fucked up. But I will say on our behalf that we had not known that before we had done that. We was just so excited for her to meet the boys that it didn't really go down that way like we wanted it to. But it is what it is, and it's done and over with. We did what we did. So we brought her home. I built like a little playpen for her. It's like called an exercise pen or whatever, but I called it playpen because, you know, like baby, she like my baby. So I built a little playpen for her, and I put her in the playpen, and I introduced her to Hoyt and Stubby through the playpen first over like an extended period of time. And then eventually, once they got done, like, you know, once the excitement of her being here wore off a little bit, then I brought her out and introduced them to her. So what I originally thought was going to be like stepbrothers, where her and Hoyt would meet and kind of tissle a little bit and then be like, did we just become best friends? Did not exactly go down that way. I thought that we was gonna bring little tiny Tina home, and her and Hoyt and Stubby they was gonna be instant best friends, and that's not. It's not. That's not what's happening right now. They have never showed any type of aggression towards her. But they've also never showed any type of affection towards her. Like, they don't really care for tiny teens. They don't care for her. So Stubby, okay, Stubby is the most docile, like, good-natured, loving, like, Stubby fucks with cats, Stubby fucks with birds, Stubby fucks with any kind of animal. When we had our bunny, like, I could let the bunny out around Stubby and he doesn't give a fuck, right? He loves everything. He loves all beings. Stubby does. So he don't care. It's not that he doesn't like her. He's just like, man, she's there, whatever. I could give fucks less. He will let her sleep on him or whatever. He doesn't care. Hoyt, on the other hand, so Hoyt is that dog that, like, you could really see every emotion just pouring out of him in his facial expressions. And for the first few days that we had her, every time she would go near Hoyt, he would get this look on his face like this. He'd go, like, get this fucking bitch away from me. I want nothing to do with her. Thanks, Veronica. Like, he was just not fucking having it. He never, like, was mean to her or growled at her or anything like that. But I was like, this is not what I envisioned. I was completely crushed, like, heartbroken. I'm like, she's fucking here to stay. What do we do? And again, he wasn't aggressive towards her, so it wasn't that serious. Like, I thought maybe he's just got to get used to her, right? So we have had her for a week and a half. I think I mentioned already, but we got her last Saturday, and we are slowly progressing. So for the first couple of days, he wanted absolutely nothing to do with her. When she would come around him, he would just get up and walk away. Wouldn't growl at her, wouldn't bark at her, anything like that. He just didn't care for her. Although, even with that being said, I will say that, so before we got her, we kind of like prepped for her. As y'all may or may not know, I have a white silk rug from the West Elm that cost me around 1,100 dollars, and I did not want this little tiny little creature ruining that rug. So before she came, we put her playpen out, we got her a cage, we were like all prepped. We took that motherfucking $1,100 rug and rolled it up and put it in the basement, and we went out and found the cheapest fucking rug we could. So we went out and bought this $40 piece of shit, gray, like just bound up piece of carpet, basically. Oh, because I didn't want to not have a rug in there, because it like me, because y'all know we got hardwood floors. It makes it like cooler in there, and it also like there's nothing, when there's not a rug there's like nothing to like catch the dog hair. I know that sounds gross, but it's just, it's like hard to get around. And for the first day or two that we had her, we didn't have that rug, and she was like slipping and sliding everywhere, and it was just really hard for her to like get around without falling, and we didn't want her hurting her poor little bones. So, and Hoyt was sliding everywhere and falling, so we ended up buying that cheap ass $40 rug from the Ollie's discount barn. And I will say that although for the first couple of days he like wanted nothing to do with her and was just like, get her the fuck away from me, he has never sat on the floor as much as he sits on the floor now. And I know it's because of her, because whenever he's like hanging out, chilling, whatevs, he's up on the couch. And since she's come, he has not been on the couch, like barely at all. If he goes to sleep, he sleeps in my blanket basket. Like I got this big ass blanket or this big ass basket to hold like throws and stuff in our living room, and he sleeps in it. But if he's just chilling, he's on the floor, and he's never done that before. So even when we had this big thick ass wool like souk rug in there, he never did that. So that makes me feel a little bit better. That gives me some hope. Also, she was here for, let me think, like 2 or 3 days, and we were back in the bedroom. She loves it back in the bedroom. That's like her party hangout. She gets all crazy back there. So we were back in the bedroom, and Tim gets down on the floor, and he's like playing with her, and all of a sudden Hoyt starts playing with her, and we're like, oh my God, it's happening, it's happening. Tim's like, oh my God, he's playing with her, he's playing with her. So I fucking come running in. I'm like, oh my God, this is it. It's the moment. This is the moment when they connect like old stepbrothers, where they hate each other, and then we're like, did we just become best friends right now? It wasn't the moment. It wasn't it. It wasn't. Nope. He played with her for about 10-15 minutes, and then went back to just tolerating her, basically. There are spurts here and there where he'll play with her and stuff like that, but she's just not his favorite person right now, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because we really fucked up on the way we introduced them. Like maybe we should have introduced them in a neutral area over a longer spread period of time, but like who fucking has time to do that? Like what am I supposed to do? Lock my dogs in the basement while I like fucking chill up here with the puppy for 3 days? Like how can I do that? I can't do that. But maybe we should have introduced him like in a neutral territory. Maybe we should have taken him to my mom's house or something. I don't know. But I don't know if it's because of that or because Tim has been like doing a bunch of research on it. I don't know if it's that, or because apparently in nature, male dogs do not like puppies, or they're scared of puppies because in nature, the female mother of the puppies chases the dogs off and like attacks them and stuff. So it's in their nature to like be very hesitant and like skeptical of puppies. So I don't know if it's because of that, or maybe there's a little bit of jealousy there. I'm not really sure. Although I've looked up, you know, researched a bunch of things that says dogs don't have human emotions like that. Like dogs can't feel jealousy, like they don't have that emotion. I don't know. But we're slowly making progress, so it's making me feel a little better. My heart just sung when I saw him playing with her that day, and when it just went back to normal, I was like, go, go, go. No, I want them to be best friends. Because here's the thing, I kind of like depended on Hoyt to, you know, keep her entertained and stuff, like to keep her active, to like, you know, help her expend some of her energy because she's a puppy, and it's just not, it's not. So it's up to me right here. So as far as the living situation goes, it has been very trying, very frustrating, very daunting, very much lack of sleep. So as I said earlier, I've never had like a fresh ass puppy beach. Like I did not realize the sheer magnitude of responsibility it takes to have a little baby puppy. Like you literally cannot take your eyes off of them. And when we first got her, it was so stressful. I did not do anything for the first week that she was here. I went 3 days without showering. Like, I was fucking on it. Now, when we went and got her, we made a decision as a family that everybody was gonna work together to help take care of this puppy. And I was like, I don't wanna do this unless you guys help me. And they have been a big help. Like, Tim and Aiden have been a huge help. But the fact of the matter is that I'm the one that's here with her all day. So, you literally cannot take your eyes off of her. So here's the thing. I do not want to crate train her. I did not want to crate train her because for the longest time, I was completely against crate training. Like, I always felt like it was cruel and like, I just don't want to do that. And, you know, I've had friends and family members, like, when their dog's like crate trained, they constantly leave it in a cage, and I'm just like not cool with that at all. Like, it's not the dog's fault. Like, don't get a dog if you don't have the time or responsibility to take care of that dog. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very adamant about that. So, at first, I did not want to crate train her. But the more research that I've done, it's actually better for the well-being of not just you and your house and your possessions, but for your dog as well, because in nature, they are used to being in a den. They feel comfortable, they feel safe in a small confined area like that, because in nature, the wild dogs are used to being in a den. So as long as you introduce the cage as something that not only can they go in and out of, but something that they eat at, you know, make it a positive environment for them, which we have done, they're okay with it. And she is to the point where she loves her cage. She and her playpen. She runs in and out. It's got a little doggy door, and I'll show you guys, like, probably in another video, because this one's getting a real fucking long, girl. I'll show you guys in another video, but she like runs in and out of her cage. She just loves it. And at nighttime, she loves sleeping in there. Like, she loves it. So I'm so excited, and I feel so much better that we were able to crate train her. As far as like constantly putting in there, not down for that. We only put her in her crate, when we're not here, which we've had her for a week and a half, and last time was literally the first time we've left her home alone, and she was only in there for 2 hours. So when we're not here and, you know, there's nobody to watch her, or, you know, we just can't take her somewhere, you know what I mean? She'll go in there then, and she sleeps in there at nighttime. That's it. She takes naps in there. Like, she's got a bed in her playpen, and she's got like her crate that has a little blanket in it, and she will usually go into her crate versus the bed and sleep in her crate when she takes naps. But other than that, leaving time and then like bedtime is the only time we put her in the crate. So because of that, it's like she basically has free reign over our house, which I know you're not supposed to do. Like, there's this guy that I watch, his name's Zach George. He's a dog trainer here on YouTube. He has a huge, like, couple million subscriber channel, and his, like, girl, if you got a dog and you want to train it, like, no matter what age it is, fucking check his videos out, because he's awesome. He gives you step by step, like, physical tutorials on how to train your dog, and like, the shit works. I've already trained her how to leave it, how to look at me, and how to, oh girl, sorry, did I wake you up? I'm so sorry. How to look at me and how to sit. So she's doing so good with her training. And that's another thing too, like, not only because Hoyt's not playing with her, I am responsible for helping her expend her energy. I've been training her too for like half an hour to an hour a day. On top of that, because of training her and realizing how untrained my dogs are, I've also started working on training with the older dogs. Sarah, we are coming along just great. But anyways, as I said, this first week has been super daunting. I've never had a puppy this young before. I did not realize why, I don't know, that puppies are just like babies. And because we don't want to be cruel and put her in her cage all the time, you literally cannot take your eyes off of her. I also did not realize that, like, dogs also, just like babies, wake up in the middle of the night. Like, before we got her, we were well and prepared. Like, yo, we know dogs get up. We know for the first couple of nights, we thought, we know for the first couple of nights, she's probably gonna bark in her cage, and we have to teach her how to not do that. We have to introduce her to the cage, make the cage, you know, like a nice place for her, whatever. The first night we brought her home, the bitch slept all through the night, like literally all through the night. Did not wake up until like 6 or 7 o'clock the next morning. We were like, did we just buy the perfect dog? Did we just buy the perfect puppy right now? Like, what? Because everything, because we've never had a puppy before, so everything we researched online, they were like, be prepared to get up multiple times through the night, blah blah blah, take them out. And she slept through the night for one night. The next night she woke up at 11:30, 2:30, 4:30, 5:30. It was like every hour on the hour, girl, her slept up or her got up. So we, for the first few days, had some sleepless nights, but she's totally worth it. Her's totally worth it. I love her so much. And because we want to teach her to sleep in her cage and not to sleep with us, you know, that also kind of reinforces her getting up on her own. But for the first few nights, she was like fucking clockwork beach. But since we've had her for a week and a half, she has slept, I want to say two, possibly 3 nights all night. She's to the point now where she only wakes up like once in the middle of the night. She'll wake up, well, last night she woke up at like 2:30, which was weird, but I think it's because we went to karate last night and left her in her cage, and she was kind of off schedule with her napping. So because her like nap schedule during the day was kind of off schedule, she was off schedule last night. But for the past, before last night, for the past few nights before that, she was only getting up at like 4:30 in the morning. So she would just get up at 4:30, we'd take her out, and she'd go right back to bed. So it hasn't been as bad. We're a little bit more sleep inclined, I guess you could say, like not so sleep deprived. So other than that, it's been crazy. Like literally cannot take your fucking eyes off of her. Like I said, went 3 days without showering. I have not been able to watch the tubes. I didn't know what was going on. Bitch, I didn't know fucking Nikki Notorials was trans until like 3 days after the fucking video dropped, okay? Like, I've not been watching shit on the tubes. I can't even watch TV around her. It's funny because I kept telling Tim and Aiden, like, dude, don't take your eyes off her. Don't take your eyes off her. Because when I do shit, I'm like, can you keep an eye on her? Whatever. A, because we don't want her pissing and shitting in the house. Obviously, we're trying to potty train her and teach her not to do that. And B, because she will like chew shit up. She'll get into stuff she's not supposed to. We've predominantly got it Tina-proofed ATM, but there's always something she ends up finding or getting into that we're like, oh my god, I totally forgot about that, you know what I mean? And when she gets into her Tina terror mode, she'd be going off, girl. She'd go off. So I always tell Tim and Aiden, like, keep your eye on her, keep your eye on her, can't take your eyes off of her. So they think that don't take your eyes off of her means that you can sit in the living room with her and fuck around on your computer or sit on your iPad or your phone. No, Beach, you cannot do that. So I have been like literally pounding this into their brains since the day we got her, and they did not realize the magnitude of what I was saying until this past Sunday when I had to work from 7 to 11 and they were left alone with Tina the Terror. So I'm at work Sunday and I'm getting all these text messages like, oh my god, she's doing this and now she's doing this and now she's doing this, and then I get this message and now she's got her fucking head stuck in the basket, and I kept saying, don't take your eyes off her, don't take your eyes off her. If you need to, because that Zach George guy says that you can like attach a leash to her and then to you, so she's like within your vicinity or whatever. I'm like, don't take your eyes off her. So I get home and they are like fucking wigged, stressed out. Like Tim was like, oh my god, you must have the patience of a fucking saint. I don't know how you deal with this every day. Like at one point last week, he was like, are you okay? Because I looked like so fucking stressed out just from like chasing after her all week. I mean, it was like having a baby, but the difference is you can put a fucking baby in a playpen or a crib without like teaching it bad habits. You know what I mean? Like you can put a baby in a crib and, you know, just kind of casually keep an eye on that baby. But with a dog, if you do that, then you're gonna get it like scared to death of its crib because it's not, or its playpen, because it's gonna think that it's never coming out. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost easier with a baby. I know it's not easier, obviously, but it's like almost easier with a baby because a baby, like, you don't have to chase a baby around the house, you know? I know once they get older you do, but it's just crazy, girl, it's crazy, okay? So the one day last week, I was like looking fucking stressed, Beach, and Tim was like, are you okay? Like, he's like, you're like okay with this, right? Like, do you need a break or anything like that? He's like, I don't want you to like grow to dislike the dog because you spend so much time with her and she's like so stressful. I was like, no, I'm cool, I got this, Beach. So I come home from work and they are like so fucking stressed out. Tim was like, dude, I don't know how you do it every day. He's like, I'm like in here and she's going from one thing to the next, to next, to next. And I said, yeah, you can't sit with your face in your fucking iPad and watch her. Like I said, 72 million times. So he's like, dude, it got crazy. He said at one point I had to call Aiden in here and like, dude, you gotta fucking come help me. You gotta help me with her. You gotta come help me watch her. He said it was like fucking 3 men and a baby up in this bitch. We didn't know what the fuck was going on or what we were doing. We were stressed the fuck out. So, but ever since then I said, see, do you understand now? He's like, yes, I understand. I appreciate what you're saying. I get it now. I really, truly, fully get it. But he don't. Cause last night, what happened was, we were in the bedroom, we were getting ready for bed, and I said, I'm gonna go in the bathroom and wash my face. Can you keep an eye on her? Can you keep an eye on her? And when I say that, I mean, watch her. Even though we've got our bedroom like Tina approved, she's not potty trained yet, right? She is to the point now, like when we first got her, dude, she was going outside like every fucking 10 minutes. It was literally insane. And it was fucking freezing outside. So she was going outside like every 10 minutes. And when she would go outside, she would like just piddle a little tiny bit and then she'd have to go again in like 10 minutes. And we're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, we actually thought about talking to the vet about the amount of time she was peeing because we, like, everything we researched everywhere, it said when you have a puppy, take it out once an hour. And we're like, once an hour? There'd be piss and shit all over our house. We took her out once an hour. What the fuck? She's got to go out like every 10 or 15 minutes. So, and this went on for probably a good 2 to 3 days. And we're like, you know what? Maybe if we got her like a coat to put on her so she's not so cold and not so like, you know, when she goes out there for that amount of time, she was cold. And so she would just like piddle and then just want to come back in and get warm. So eventually we ended up buying her a coat, which helped immensely. And now she will go out, she'll go to the bathroom and, you know, she doesn't want to like run right back in. She's okay when she has her coat on. Like, she'll go out there and she'll do a couple of pees and a couple of poops rather than just like piddling this little tiny dime size and then running back in. So it's a little bit better now that we're not having to take her out. Now we do take her out probably about once an hour, which is like standard. Like, we thought she had some kind of fucking UTI or something at first. It was crazy. But anyways, so last night we are in the bedroom and I'm like, I'm finna go wash my face in the bathroom, and she cannot come in the bathroom because she gets into everything. She's chewing on the rug. She's fucking like pulling the cat. You know those caps that like cover the screws on your toilet where your toilet bolts down? She like rips those off and like runs off with them. If there's a rug there, she's like running off with the rug. She gets crazy, girl. So, and obviously I can't stand there and wash my fucking face and watch her. You know what I mean? So I was like, can you watch her? I'm in the bathroom doing my doing my little non-time routine, if you will. And I hear this dude, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, I'm like watching TV as I'm doing it, just taking my time, girl, just taking my time. And I hear him like yelling, you gotta come in here, you gotta come in here. And I'm like, what the fuck happened now? She shit somewhere, and I was like, what? How did she poop somewhere if you were watching her? And he's like, I was watching her. And I said, no the fuck you wasn't. You were freaking on your iPad. And he goes, not only did she shit somewhere, but she ate it. For some reason, she has this fascination with eating her poop. And it's disgusting. And then we have to wash poop out of her. Oh God, it's gross, girl. It's just a lot. It's a lot. So, he's like, she shit somewhere and she ate it too. You're gonna have to wash her mouth out. So I had to bring her in the kitchen, brush her teeth, like get her, cause we got a little toothbrush for her, brush her teeth, get all the shit particles out of her mouth, which was disgusting. And he's in there like cleaning it up, and I walk in there, just calm as could be, and said, pretty sure I told you to keep an eye on her. He goes, oh, I was. I said, no, you wasn't, or she wouldn't have shit. Like, you would have seen her spinning around, looking for a place to shit at, and you would have took her outside. So, I mean, in the end, we were laughing about it. It wasn't like a heated argument or anything. We were just like laughing, because he ended up stepping in the shit. Then I was really laughing at him. But he's like, I said, do you understand now? Like, do you really comprehend at this point what I'm talking about when I fucking tell you to watch her? Do you get it now? You cannot watch videos on your phone while she is in your vicinity. You just can't do that. You have to watch her while she's near you. And if you can't, then you need to put her in her cage. And if you put her in her cage, then you gotta listen to her fucking bark, her like high ass pitch bark. And obviously we don't wanna do that. Like, I don't wanna put her in her cage, but you need to fucking watch her so she doesn't get hurt or she doesn't shit or piss or whatever, right? So I think now he really gets it after having to step in shit and whatever else. Now he gets it. He knew he fucked up, basically. So he was like, I did it. I was watching her. All I did was like turn around or something, and then she did it. I was like, bullshit. If she had time to sit there and poop and fucking eat the motherfucking poop, you wasn't watching her good enough, dude. Which he was like, oh, I know. Okay, I wasn't. But anyway, as I said, it has been quite the daunting little week of me not even being able to do anything but be with this little precious baby. Look at her. I mean, could you die? Could you die? Is she not the cutest little thing? I even got a little papoose for her, like a little sling. I got a little sling for her. I'm holding her in the sling. I am terribly sorry for not uploading. I really, like, I wanted to get on Graham stories so bad, but I kind of wanted it to like be a surprise, because I didn't really tell you guys like, hey, I'm going to get a puppy or anything like that. So I kind of wanted it to be a surprise. But like I said, she's to the point now where like I know her schedule, I know her napping schedule. She's more comfortable in her home. She realized this is her home now, so she like poops and pees on a schedule. I know when that's happening, so it's a little bit easier for me to do things while she's here. So videos will come. I'm probably for the next, I don't know, maybe 2 to 3 weeks, we'll have more vlogs than anything else. Oh, I know, I wanted to ask you guys, would you be interested in like puppy vlogs? Is that like interesting at all? I mean, do you guys want to see that? I just think it would be cool to like watch her grow up, you know, and then I would have that video, like, you know what I mean? Like that little timeline of her growing up. I think it would be cool. Let me know if you're interested in that. I don't know. I just know, like, okay, so I don't even watch Joey Graceffa. I'm not subscribed to him. It's just not, like, he's just not my vibe. You know what I mean? But I got recommended one of his videos of his dog giving birth to her puppies. And ever since then, I started following him when he was doing, like, his puppy vlogs or whatever. Bitch, I wanted to become a breeder. I wanted puppies. I wanted a whelping box. Like, I wanted the whole thing. But it was so cool to like, and it's so satisfying to like see a video every day and watch his puppies grow every day from the time they were born till the time they got adopted out. Like every day I watch those dogs get bigger and bigger and bigger, and their personalities come out, and you know what I mean? And it was just really cool. It was a really cool little thing to watch. So, I thought, since I like that so much, maybe you guys would like this. Maybe not, I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. So, once I get her kind of a little bit more settled and a little bit more on track, then the like regular videos will come. I know there's a couple of videos, I'll have to go back and look at my vlogs that I mentioned uploading, that I'm gonna have to look into and see like what I told you guys I was gonna upload, because ever since I got her, it's just been nothing but her. So it's been a trying time, girl. A trying week and a half, let me tell you that much. So anyways, I'm gonna get off here because this video is like all the long right now. Like maybe even too long to upload. I don't know. Let's hope not though. But here she is. Welcome her. Welcome my new little daughter. Tim was like, we have a daughter. Oh my God. We have a little daughter. Her name is Tina. Oh my God. Could you die? I mean, look at that. Look at little baby John Norman good. Look at little baby John Norman good. Oh, hey, it's me editing, Nikki. It is the next morning and it is very early. Please excuse my appearance. But what I had realized was, why was I calling her Ginormica? I don't know why that came out. I meant to say Insectosaurus because she totally looks like Insectosaurus. I'm not gonna get her right now because she's sleeping, and you know, I'm just gonna let that beach sleep because she crazy. Was she awake? So Insectosaurus, I'll flip up a picture right here of what Insectosaurus is if you don't know, but she looked like Insectosaurus without her rolls. Okay, I just had to put that in because I was like, why did I say Ginormica? The fuck? Okay, back to the video. Oh my God, she's so cute. Oh my God, could you die? I mean, look at the little face. Look at the little face. She's so cute. I cannot wait because I'm so used to having bigger dogs. Like, it's so cool to have this little tiny little thing running around, but I just can't wait till she gets like a little bit bigger, so she's like not so like, I don't know what the word is I want to use, like fragile to handle, you know what I mean? Because like right now I'm so used to big dogs and like roughhousing them, and right now I'm so used to big dogs and roughhousing with them that it's like, she's just like this fragile little being, and I'm always afraid I'm gonna break her when I hold her and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, she gonna break. She gonna break. Little Tatine's gonna break. Look at her little belly. Oh my God, it's so cute. Her so cute. I just can't take it. I love her so much. So that's where I've been. Oh, I'm sorry if I worried you guys. But anyways, what was it? Where was I going with that? Where was I going with that? I don't know where I was going with that. But here she is. She's a new addition to our family. So please be patient with me while we get the kinks worked out. Let me know if you guys want to see the puppy vlogs. What else? Is that it? Oh, let me know what other videos you guys want to see. Like, give me video suggestions down in the comments below. She usually takes about a 2 or 3 hour nap during the day. So, I'm going to try to schedule around some videos. Usually when she's napping, I'm like speed cleaning and like doing all the things I can't do when she's awake. Cause when she's awake, like you can't take your eyes off of her, literally. So I'm, you know, doing all my other household duties while she's sleeping to get them done. But it's getting, day by day, it's getting better. And day by day, her and Hoyt are like communicating a little better too. So if you guys want to see the vlogs and see like how Hoyt and her are doing and like how they interact with each other, let me know. All right, okay, so I gotta go for real this time. So I love you guys. Welcome, okay, that's it. Y'all know I suck at outros and I don't do this very well. So I'm just gonna peace out and take off. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching and sticking around and always having my back on everything I do. You're all awesome. And my battery's going dead. So now it's time to really go. I love you guys. I will catch you guys in my next one. Peace.